How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing an update on the GTS Rally Edition, and I'm also going to be putting some rail guards, they finally came, on the GTS Rally Edition. I'm scraping up the rails way too bad, and I really don't, well, you know, before we get to that, let's go ahead and throw the GTS up here. Let's find somewhere for that. All right. Okay. All right, so we got the GTS Rally Edition here, and as you can see, I've put some dings on the rails, which I'm not really that concerned about. What does concern me though is getting the underside. Let's flip her over. All right, so what does concern me is getting this information underneath here scratched off. So I've already scratched a little bit here, if you can see that at all, right there, and yeah, so I want that information. I'm pretty sure I'm going to need it at some point, the serial number, in case something happens. And buying these rail guards not only protects the side of the rails, but it also protects, I think you get a part that protects the underneath of the rail as well. So yeah, it's going to be good all around. And so yeah, I gotta get it done. So just not to bother them, or just not to mess them up anymore. I think on the other side, let's flip them over a little bit. And on this side, as you can see here, this part right here just got banged up really good. And yeah, I just, if I had a rail guard on, that would have been the part of the plastic rail guard that got chipped off instead of a piece of the actual rail. You know, lots of reasons to have rail guards on. But I don't know why they came mad late, like 2 weeks after they were ordered. But whatever, you know, we got them now, and we're gonna go ahead and get these rails cleaned off here. I got some alcohol on hand, and we're gonna just get the dirt off. I hear you got to do that anyway, just for the rails to adhere well. So we're gonna go ahead and get these rails cleaned off, and then we're gonna slap the rail guards on them. So let's go ahead and get these cleaned off. I got a sock here. I mean, it's an Avenger sock. It's gonna be heroic cleaning, as it were. Maybe not heroic, but a cinematic cleaning. All right, let's go ahead and get some alcohol on here and go to work. I don't think this alcohol is cleaning very much here. Oh, it's the powder coating on the rails, man, that are probably making it super hard to get clean. I hate that I did that. And there's no easy way to get that piece of metal down. I mean, I got a hammer here, so let's just see what we can do here. Oh, now it went into the foot pad. I think it's smooth enough for a rail guard to go on. I should have done this with some needle nose pliers. I think I'm gonna have to go in and fix that at some time when I change out the foot pads, but for now, I think for now we're good to go. I do the quick wipe off with the alcohol to make sure. I don't know why. We just banged on it with a hammer. This is not the best cleaning job, so you know, don't take my cleaning effort for what you should be aspiring to. You should probably do a way better job than what I'm doing right now. But they're rail guards, man. I'm concerned, but not that concerned. Let's go ahead and clean this side off. I'm gonna flip her over because that side will be drier. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and unbox these rails. All right, and so here we are, rail guards. All right, so these are the rail guards we got here. That's what they look like. We're just gonna go ahead and put them on. We don't want to waste some time, and we're wasting daylight, so. All right, so we got the side we want here, and let's go ahead and find the corresponding rails for this side. All right, we'll go ahead and get this ready to put on. All right, cool. Dude, both sides came off of this tape. Are you freaking serious? The tape came all the way off, so I'm trying to put it back on. I think I'll be successful. Like, putting rail guards on usually isn't this big of an ordeal, to be honest with you guys, but let's try to get this top layer off again. You need a artist knife, like a precision razor. I gotta get surgical in here. Sheesh. Okay. Well, hey, you live and learn, right? We're gonna go ahead and put this on because I think this has been a lot. So as we can see, now I got some protection under here, so when I bang this, inevitably, at least my serial number and information will still be there. And that's the point. All right, so let's go ahead and get our knife and get her started. Perfect, there we go. Awesome. I like the way these sit in. They kind of guide themselves into place, whereas before it was like a guessing game whether you get it right or not. So in that aspect, it's a little better. All right, and there it goes. All right, so this is a lot longer of a process than what I thought it would be, but I think it was worth it. Yeah, so I think they look pretty good. I really do. I'm anxious to shred now with these new rails. They don't look as good as what's underneath, to be honest with you. Since it took so long, I'm gonna take that handle off another time. That handle lives another day on this board. I'm telling you, it finds ways. So right now we're gonna head on down to the bridge that crosses the Skoka River. It's a really cool site over there, and I've been wanting to ride down there today, so I figured, got the new rails, let's take a trip down there, and then we'll talk about all of the things I wanted to mention in the update that I've kind of discovered while using the Onewheel GTS Rally Edition. All right, let's do that. All right, so the first thing we got is Stabel At Speed. So when you're going at a decent clip on this particular board, it feels the most stable I've ever felt on a Onewheel after settings. After shapings get done, you figure that out. It's literally the most stable I've felt on a Onewheel, and I think I'm going the wrong way. I'm absolutely going the wrong way. All right, so now that we're going the right way, this board is probably the most stable at speed that I've owned. So even with the the XR, you had to have your foot in a certain placement to make the board stable, to kind of balance out the front and the back of the board, so that when you get the wobbles that going at high speed, you would keep the balance. But the GT kind of alleviated the wobbles at high speed, but it still didn't feel super confident, or at least I didn't feel super confident on it. So until after a while, I tried a few different tires, and other than the stock, and that helped a lot. So I might be able to attribute that to the tire, but point being, stock, it just didn't feel as stable. So, but this board does. Stable at speed, I think I mentioned that before, but I want to reiterate that it feels like the most stable at speed. The foot pads are better than the foot pads on the GT, whereas the foot pads on the GT had those really sharp angles and curves on them. Oh, that's nice. All right, but so when I ride with one toe off of the board, or one foot slightly off of the board. Actually, both feet are slightly off of the board at different. My front foot is off of the board in the back where my heel is, and my back foot is off at the toe. And that's, like I said, I just got used to riding that way because of the XR. Now there's really no need to do that so much, but I still like the leverage I get on the board that way. But riding that way on the GT, man, the angle foot pads would just dig into your foot. That sucked so bad. It would leave my foot with so much pain above and beyond what the foot fatigue would do. So yeah, that's another thing there to consider, is the foot pads are so much better on the GTS. I think the same foot pads come on the GTS that come on the GTS Rally Edition. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's the case. Not only that, not only are they less sharp, the kick on the back foot pad is super cool. I think that's really a nice addition to this particular edition of the foot pads, having that kick in the back and no kick in the front. I mean, it's not a crazy big kick, but it's a bit of a kick. So the tire, it's the performance treaded tire, the 6-inch edition of that. Man, this feels so good, so good. Like I said, it reminds me of how I used to take chunk on the XR. It's kind of chunk you really can't take on the GT stock, but man, it feels so good on the Rally Edition, that 6-inch hub with that softer compound on the performance treaded tire. It's just so nice. It takes sidewall hits. I feel sidewall hits, and the tire just kind of absorbs them, you know. And whereas the GT, you know, that would have been an ordeal for me, taking those sidewall hits. Oh, let me focus. Going down this hill, I didn't think this would be such an incline. Oh, we good though. Oh, okay. It just feels so much better. Taking chunk that I normally wouldn't think of taking on the GT feels good. Just all around, it's just a really good size for a one-wheel tire, in my opinion. All right, so now, going on about, listen, Philly, we be jamming. One more thing on the treaded tire is that you get so much more pop. Oh man, look at this sunset. So this is the bridge that crosses the Schuylkill River. I probably should have gone on the other side. I think it's a little more stable on the other side. And it's a little more, you know what, we will go on the other side here. All right, so you get more pop too with the 6-inch hub and that 6-inch tire. It's just, you know, when you're doing bonks and hitting roots and rocks and stuff, and you're trying to get a little bit of air, you just get more pop, for sure. I mean, the pop is real. The pop is real. This is the trolley that used to run through Fairmount Park right here. I think it's been out of commission since like the 70s. I could be wrong about that. As far as I know, all of the trails that you see me on in the videos in Fairmount Park, all of those trails are, you know, 50 years old. You know, I thought they would be 100, maybe 200 years old, but those trees and those trails are about 50 years old. So I thought that was a pretty unique and cool factoid. So I'm gonna put the camera up here so we can get a good look at it here. So this is the Schuylkill River, and this is the bridge that crosses it. I'm not sure what bridge this is though. Maybe it's the trolley bridge. But yeah, so I love crossing this bridge. It's beautiful. All right, so what do we got here? We got rails. So the rails feel so much more locked in. You get that locked in feeling with the rails because of the stance that you're required to take to even stand on the rails. I feel way more locked in going downhill, and just riding in general. It's just and I think that has to do with the rails creating that lowered effect too. So I think you're about a ½ inch lower to the ground than with the straight rails. Whatever the case, man, you really do feel locked in on this board. It's really nice. Another effect of the rails is that my foot fatigue is all but alleviated. I used to get foot fatigue heavy, like all the time. But now, like, foot fatigue really isn't a thing for me on the one wheel. So that to me is a really cool effect of having those angled rails, is the lessened effect of foot fatigue. What comes along with that though is the fact that now my back leg, my thigh gets burned more than it used to, but that's something you can work on. Like I can, you know, work out more and get a little more strength in my legs, because that's what it's all about, that burn. And I can alleviate that being an issue for longer periods of time. But that foot fatigue, there was nothing I could do to help that. And no matter how much I rode, that would always be an issue for me. So, but right now, not an issue. But yeah, so I thought that was very cool. One thing I don't like, or a few things I don't like, is that the bumpers are super weak. There's a couple scratches I sustained on the board like day one that were deep. Like, I don't even remember doing anything really crazy on day one. But I don't see these bumpers lasting me too long. You know, maybe a couple months, you know, and then I'll have to buy more. So that's a lot of replacing bumpers, a lot of replacements to have to buy over the course of a year. But you know, we'll see how long they last, you know, but that's just my take right now, that the bumpers are super weak. The activation issues, I mean, you guys see it on video from me all the time. I don't know if it's the way that I stand. One guy in the comments mentioned that he thinks it's because of the way that I stand on the board. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, but I'm gonna look and see if other people are having this activation issue too, to see if it's just me. But that's one thing that I wish I could take care of, or wish there was a fix for. Last thing, the Fender's awesome. I didn't think I would like the deletes that come with the hybrid Fender to lock it in place. They looked a bit modded to me, and they still do, but I've come to appreciate them. They keep your feet off of the wheel. Like, there's just enough rise in them to, if you land on the board and your foot is too close to the wheel, like, it'll kind of like push your foot back a little bit, or it gives you like a physical cue to when you're getting close to the wheel. So that's kind of cool, and I didn't get that feel when I had the regular deletes. So that's new, and that's something I do appreciate now that I have those on there. But I wish that they were kind of tapered more towards the rails. I think that's the reason why they look so modded to me, is because they're not tapered enough at the rails. And if they were tapered enough at the rails, I think that it would be a way better looking experience. It wouldn't look so modded. But for right now, for it being like just cut like it is, it's just kind of like a really sharp cut into the rail, and like almost a drop off. And the deletes kind of like tapered more into the rail, so they looked like they were a part of the board a lot more than these than the hybrid Fender deletes. But they're still good. Like I said, I've come to appreciate the look of them because of the functionality they provide. But I do wish that they were tapered. But yeah, so those are my takes for the GTS Rally Edition. I think I'm gonna go try to hit this trail right here before it gets too dark. The sun's going down, and when you go into these woods back over here, as you can see, it's not as bright. But I might be able to hit it on the way back, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. You guys have a great day. I hope you guys had an awesome Memorial Day holiday. I think that's what today is. And yeah, be safe out there, and until next time, take care.